What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Friday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Connie, and Friday already. We are ready for the weekend. How about that NBA Finals Game 1 last night? Miami got killed. Denver is really, really good. I think it's Denver's time. I think Miami will play better. Jimmy Butler took the same amount of field goal attempts as Gabe Vincent. And Miami, I know that Denver's got the great defense, but Miami's not going to win the NBA championship with Jimmy Butler taking the same amount of attempts as Gabe Vincent. But it was good for us because we had a 2-in-1 day. We hit the parlay in that game. We had Denver minus 3.5 and for it to go under 229.5. That was, man, we could have bet a parlay of both the regular lines of 9 and 219. It probably would have been like a plus 300. But, you know, you never know. Better to win small than lose big, right? So that came in, hit a unit there. And then for the day game, for the Brewers and the Jays, we had Kevin Gossman. Perfect scenario there. We had over 1.5 walks. He has 2 walks. Jays win 3-1. Perfect outcome for a Jays fan. And then in the WNBA, we had Connecticut minus 6.5. They won by 5. The line closed at 4.5, so that's kind of annoying. I was going to cash out and rebet it, but I didn't. But all things considered, not too bad. A 2-in-1 day. Not going to complain about that. It's the month of June. I still have to do the accounting for the month of June. I think it's sort of been around a break-even month for the month of May, but we had a great April, and we're hoping to have a great June as well. And before we get into today's bets, just want to talk to you quickly about a contest that is 6 days away from ending. I'm going to be giving away $25 in bets to your sportsbook of your choice. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber here on YouTube. You're automatically entered 3 times if you are, and if you comment on the daily videos, you get an additional entry. Then if you follow me on Twitter, every time I post a Daily Squeeze video, you retweet that. It is 3 more entries, and a like is 1 additional entry. On June 9th, I will pull a name, and that person will win $25 cash to a sports book of your choice. It's actually something, I've got some exciting stuff coming up in June with BetStamp as well. If you follow me there on BetStamp, you can track all my picks, and it's also where you find and shop for the best lines. Some exciting stuff coming up. I'm hoping that maybe we can do this every month, or maybe we can give away even more money. Something fun like that. Okay, let's get into today's bets. We're going to start, there's no NHL, there's no NBA, so we're going to start in the WNBA today. Las Vegas Aces to cover. This might just become a standard bet. They're minus 10.5 on the road against Atlanta, and I'm taking it. I'm going to pay the juice, pay the 1.15 for Las Vegas to cover a 10.5 spread. The Aces are 4-0. They're 3-1 ATS. Atlanta Dream, they come into this, they're not bad. They're 2-2 record, and they're 2-2 ATS. Listen to the wins by Vegas. They've won by 19 points, 28 points, 9 points, and 40 since the season started. Those are their 4 victories. Seattle, LA, Minnesota. 4-0. They're crushing teams. Atlanta is coming off an 18-point win against Chicago. Previous to that, they lost by 3 to Indiana. They've beat Minnesota by 6, and they've lost to Dallas by 7. Listen to these metrics for the Aces. They're averaging the most points per game this season by 6. They're averaging 14 more points than Atlanta on this season. They are first in rebounds. They are second in assists. They're first in blocks, first in steals, first in field goal percentage, first in three-pointers made, first in three-point percentage, and second in free throw percentage. Their net rating is 28.7. The next closest is New York at 8.5. So even though Atlanta is third in the WNBA in net rating and fourth in offensive rating, their numbers aren't close. They're just not even close. So for that reason, I'm taking the Las Vegas Aces minus 10.5, minus 115 at BetMGM. If you can still get plus money on them to win the WNBA championship, you might want to do that. Barring injury, they are rolling. Switching to Major League Baseball, we've got the worst team of all time, possibly, the Oakland Athletics. They're 12-46. They're 5-22 on the road. They are in Miami to take on the Marlins, who are 29-28, 15-13 at home. Now, I have an over 71 win bet on the Marlins. They're over 500, so I'm liking the looks of that. The Marlins haven't been the greatest team on the run line. Let's just quickly check the run line stats. On the run line this year, Marlins bad, 23-34. Oakland worse, 22-36. I'm going to take the Miami Marlins on the run line here because it's plus 105. That's also at BetMGM. The pitching matchup, So going for Oakland today is Hogan Harris. He has an ERA of 10. Okay, he's had 2 starts. The first start, it was against the Mets. He went 1/3 of an inning. He gave up 6. Now, his last time out against Houston, he did go 5, and he did give up an earned run. But Oakland is just all kinds of bad. And Miami, I still don't think has played up to their potential. Edward Cabrera on the year. Now, he's 3-4 with a 5.02 ERA, but last year, in 14 starts, he was 6-4 and had a 3.01 ERA, and he's been good at home this year. In Miami this year, Cabrera is 3-0 with a 3.6 ERA. It's the road that's given him problems, where he's 0-4. I like the Miami Marlins to get it rolling against the Oakland Athletics, who are coming off a 4-2 loss at Atlanta. They didn't play yesterday. Miami's coming off a 10-1 loss to San Diego. That was yesterday. I look for them to get it right. I look for them to capitalize and jump on the Oakland A's. I'm taking the Miami Marlins on the run line, plus 105 at BetMGM. And your last bet of the day, we go out to San Francisco. Great baseball game. We've got the 35-21 Baltimore Orioles on the road in San Francisco taking on the 28-28 Giants. Good pitching matchup. We've got Dean Kramer, going up against Logan Webb, and that's what I like here. So the under is 3-0-1 in the Orioles' last 4 interleague games versus a right-handed starter. When you look at San Francisco, the under is 4-0 in Webb's last 4 starts versus a team with a winning record. The under is 4-0 in their last 4 games with a total set at 8.5 or lower. And the Giants are 6-0 during their last 6 games of a 1-game series, which I like. I'm taking the under here. Under 8, it's minus 115, also at BetMGM. Logan Webb, he might not have the greatest record. He comes into this with a 4-5 record, but he's got a 2.75 ERA. Logan Webb last year, 2.9 ERA. 2021, 2.97 ERA. Logan Webb's a great pitcher, right? And I look for him to pitch well against against Baltimore today. His last time out, he went 7 innings against Milwaukee. He only gave up 1. Previous to that, he went 6 innings against the Marlins, gave up 0. He hasn't given up 2 earned runs since May 3rd against Houston, where he gave up 2, and he still went into the 8th inning. He pitched 7 2/3 innings. Logan Webb hasn't pitched less than 6 innings since April the 5th. That was against Chicago. He's pitched 6 2/3, 7, 6 2/3. He's pitching 7 innings almost every single night. You go to Dean Kramer, similar story. So on the road, he's 2-1. He's got a 3.63 ERA. On the season, he's 5-2. He does have a 4.58 ERA, but last year in 21 starts, he did have an ERA of 3.23. He's coming off a 6 1/3 inning against Texas, where he gave up 3. Previous to that, he pitched 5 2/3 against the Blue Jays. He gave up 1. I think you're going to have a nice low-scoring game. This should be a great matchup. I think this game goes under 8. So I'm taking the Baltimore Orioles and the San Francisco Giants under 8 for 1.5 units. So there are your bets for Friday. All of these are at BetMGM. I'm taking the Las Vegas Aces minus 10.5 for minus 115. Give me the Miami Marlins on the run line for plus 105. And I'm taking the Baltimore Orioles and the San Francisco Giants to go under 8 minus 115. As always, drop a comment if you're fading or following. You can follow me on Twitter at Tyler Connium for more picks and props throughout the day. TikTok and Instagram for just the picks portions. And your audio is on Spotify and Apple. TGIF, and let's talk sports.